Shawshank Redemption. That's the name of the movie I was thinking of earlier. Not important, but that was it.
Get the hell down.
Yeah, I found a file on the old director, Northmore. Didn't list any dated death. You know anything about that?
Could be an error. The record staff process a lot of data. Maybe it just slipped through.
Yeah, maybe.
How about now? Can you hear any mic audio now?
Any luck finding the armory?
Okay. So the DLC was released just the other day, and it added a feature that I can basically skip forward because I've beaten the game. So I skipped the main missions, and now I'm in sorry, I just mentally blanked. Now I'm in the end game, so we can do the DLC. So I don't think that anything will really be spoiled except for Helen Marshall, she was the black lady with the machine gun that we went and found. She disappears. Give me just a second.
Is the house on? All right, we'll keep teams looking and post a watch on the old location just in case it's shit's back.
Put a record on. Which would make me think... Oh, ask Aresh about the jukebox token.
Getting back on our feet, I should really talk to Arish about ration quantities.
I found this token. Any idea what it does?
Ah, that is a jukebox token. Little bastards turn up in the weirdest places, like bad pennies. The Rangers use them to activate an old object of power.
A jukebox, I assume. Does it have any good songs?
Nope, just the one record. Hey, be careful turning it on, though. When it's playing, you get a free trip to the formation.
The formation. That sounds ominous. Why does it send you there?
The Bureau has been wondering that for years. I mean, it's just a pile of rocks built by God knows who, but... Well, researchers have confirmed it's in the same threshold as the quarry. No one's ever been able to map a physical route to the formation for maintenance.
So it's in the quarry. You just don't know where.
Pretty much. We only send in annual expeditions to the formation now. Checkups, Salvador calls them. This year's team went in the day the hiss arrived. Come to think of it, the song should have brought back hours ago.
I can go in and take a look.
I'd appreciate that. The jukebox is kept just past the security booth over there. Just put in the token and enjoy the ride.
So here, I'll give you a quick situational report since this is the end game.
So, what's the situation in my bureau, Arish?
The situation is we are still up to our eyes in Hiss. Not to mention the months of repairs it's gonna take just to get this place up and running again.
But is it doable?
Of course it is. You just might need to tell some rangers to grab a wrench once they're done hunting Hiss.
I'll see you later.
You know where I'll be.
So the jukebox is part of one DLC,
Director.
but the other, the big DLC, should be... Hang on a second. Missions. Self-reflect. Foundation. Talk to the board. Okay. so I need to use the hotline, I believe. Give me just a second. It unequipped all of my mods. That's a little annoying. Sorry, give me just a second. Okay. So we need to head to the hotline chamber. Which...
Pope is now head of research. It's official.
Communications. So I'll be honest, I'm quite a bit more powerful than I was last time. I've got some abilities since then. I believe we got the shield ability last time we tried. This is a new ability I have. Basically turns me into a Dragon Ball Z character. Oh, there's something up there. Unfortunately, at higher levels, the difficulty spikes pretty sweet. So now there was something over here. Hang on. Oh, bummer. I was hoping it was a lore thing. Oh well. Dead letters. Being able to levitate makes moving around a lot quicker. So in there is where we had our big tough boss battle. I don't know if this was here.
Take this down. The situation in Cuba
Oh,
has been
no, it was.
evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in...
The hotline. That's cool.
Even if it was a dream, I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline. I have a feeling he and Trench will be the only callers from the beyond. Problem in the Foundation. That was Auti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
So, I guess it is going to spoil this part for you. A little later in the game, from where you and I were, we go to the Foundation, which is the lowest point in the oldest house.
Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I still don't quite believe it. You always knew where we were headed.
Gotta remember maintenance. And you'll see what the Foundation is like. It's very interesting, very otherworldly. They did a great job with it. It also has some wicked cool fights in it. Hang on, I need to adjust how I'm sitting. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, that's better. Maintenance. How do I get to the Foundation? Okay, so there I am. Where's ventilation, furnace, pipeworks. Restricted area. That's right. I have to go through the quarry. That's right, that's right. So this is honestly where you and I were. Dang. Shoot it. Oh. Hang on, I want to change the mods for a second. Okay. I do love being able to float like this. So, Black Rock Processing is where we need to go. Oh, that just loops around. Unfortunately, the Hiss still control sections of the old house. Yeah, I can only float for about 30 seconds. Blackrock Quarry. We're just going to teleport to the Blackrock. I don't want to have to run through the entire maze that is this place. So this is actually, in our original walkthrough, this is where we were headed next. Because remember, we found the machine, but we didn't have any more of those crystals that we needed, and we were going to Blackrock. So this is the Blackrock Quarry. This is where they get the Blackrock from. And we're still in the oldest house. But it's like an alternate dimension. Now, dang it, that's not the button I meant to click. I need to get across this ravine into the restricted area. Crap. I did not mean to do that. I need to be careful because there's those things that tear shit apart. Yeah, the Blackrock Quarry is awesome. And what's really cool is there's a audio book you can find, or an audio log, that talks about the stars, and none of them match the constellations of our known sky. So we are not in our galaxy when we're in here. I thought that was so cool. One nice thing about the TV is it lets you slowly float downwards. Can you imagine being able to do this? To just like step into an elevator shaft and slowly float down? Is there anyone here? This area in here was the scene of one of my biggest fights in this game. When I first played, it was insane. Oh, it's changed, yep! Of course, I'm a little overpowered now, if I'm being honest. So first time I did that fight, I didn't have shield and I didn't have levitate, so I was like running and gunning and trying not to get killed, and yeah, it was crazy. So this is the foundation. And that's where we need to go. If I remember correctly, there's a switch. Yep. I think this summons another wave of guys. Here, let's change up our weapon a little bit. Instead of Pierce, we'll do Charge. Charge is pretty cool. It's Charge. It's a grenade launcher. Now, in the original game, in the Foundation, there's one of these pillars over there on this platform has a mark on it, and it's a tree. And a lot of people on Reddit were trying to figure out, what does the tree stand for? And no one could really figure it out. They did figure out that Ahti, the janitor guy, his name is the name of a... what is it? It's some kind of deity, like a god. I can't remember what following or religion, but I remember he was a god. And so there was a theory that the oldest house links the old religions kind of together. So I actually have this theory that the oldest house is Jormungandr, the World Tree, which is from Norse mythology. But oh, cool! Looks like I don't have to fight anyone this time. First time I did this, there was a bug. It recognized that there was a gap there, and it didn't branch the two platforms. So I went to step on, and I actually fell through and died. Kind of glitched there. Best not be doing that again. Once we finish with the DLC, we'll go back to the main story. So yes, Jormungandr, the World Tree, is the central pillar tree, I guess, that connects all the realms together. So not just heaven, not just hell, but the other dimensions in Norse mythology, like the land of the giants or the land of the Fae. That was the wrong button. Now, originally when we came here, we were looking for Ahti, because this is where he takes his vacations.
Dark, quiet, trans-dimensional. This place really suits Ahti.
I believe
So
it was...
that etching is the door. Okay, let's try opening it.
And it just goes on forever. See? Here it is. Actually, hang on. Do we have any new missions we can take? Okay. So I do have to spoil one thing for you. After we get the black rock from the quarry and we get stuff up and running, Helen Marshall, the lady we were talking to, she comes down here looking for something, but she doesn't tell us what.
No time for sightseeing. The board said this was an emergency. Looks like no one's been down here in a while.
Oh, that's interesting. The ground is like a mixture of the red carpet and rock. That's kind of cool. That was kind of freaky.
Crystals are kind of pretty. Emily would be having a field day down here.
My life's been a strange one. Certainly stranger than I'd like. But this place, it's something else. The floors crawl, the walls slither. It's a shifting pit. On the street, it's just another drab building standing there for anyone to see. No one does. How do we miss it? Northmore. Acting director in Northmore now is on a train from Washington. He'll expect answers, which is why I'm making these tapes. They're evidence that I'm at least trying to understand. Father searched his entire life for something like this, and we find it 1 week after he's buried. He always hated irony. Of course, Father, the great director, Ash, would have been the first man in. And look at me, his bookworm son, the supposed head of research who can't stop his legs from shaking long enough to step over the threshold.
So Northmore was the director before Trench, which was the guy who shot himself. And we learned that Northmore was very power hungry. He wanted to use the artifacts in the real world. Like he wanted to...
Bottom of the oldest house. Stop the hiss.
Marshall? How was she on the hotline? Unless she's dead. Jesus. She seemed like the kind of woman who could survive anything.
He wanted to, like, give the artifacts to the military to use against our enemies. So he was very dangerous. Whoa! He got a lot closer than I meant to let him get. Do we have a map of this place? Not really. I'm thinking we should not go down there yet. Oh, wait. This is the Astral Realm, I bet. Those are astral blocks. Interesting. So we are near the astral plane in here. Which far as I'm aware, shouldn't be possible. The astral plane is supposed to be only connected mentally. Oh, check it out. They're trying to figure out what makes the rock float. Hang on, I want to see this. At first I thought cave paintings on the Foundation chronicled ancient humans' encounters with natural occurrences like weather. Soon became clear they depicted events far outside the average human experience. Also, it seems I was wrong to assume the images were ancient. Radiocarbon dating suggests something impossible, that I've been down here far longer than these paintings. That's absurd, though. The style and medium clearly indicate Paleolithic origin. I was ready to conclude that ancient community of humans lived in or around the oldest house. Now, with this information, I don't know what to think. Is one of our agents drawing these? Or is there someone down here with us? This place has a habit of skewing my results, so perhaps the data is corrupted, or perhaps some paintings were created at different times. The art does seem to chronicle not only the past, but the present, and possibly even the future. I see them in the echoes of the board, some linear architecture, even what could be interpreted as a director. Are these painters telling a story that is still being written? If so, who is writing it? This place is called the Foundation. But I think...
Structures. Is that the astral plane? How is that possible? This is worse than I thought. I need to figure out what's going on. Pickaxes now?
That was freaky. Crossroads. Beware of dangerous toxic geysers. Oh, that doesn't make me feel happy. There. There's also something over here. Oh, okay. Guess it's nothing. Foundation accident. What's this? Some bad news. You remember Robert Ricardo, fellow we brought in, a special consultant to map lower caves? We told today found a shape with well, there's a strange back pillar. Its center kind of looks like one at the crossroads, but smaller. We had a bureau member shadowing it, but whatever happened. I guess the doctor taking a look at him, but it's pretty clear Mr. Adventurous exploring days are over. Okay. So basically they brought in an outside guy and he went crazy. I'll bet you at some point we get the ability to shatter this crystal.
The astral plane is cutting into our dimension. What if this happens in the upper floors? It'll destroy the Bureau.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Dang, I missed. Oh wow, he survived that. Did not expect that. Whoa. That did a lot of damage. Astral copy. Hang on a second. Astral play now physically accessible. A torrent of new information is being collected. Huh. Okay, so it's just talking about them.
I wish I'd brought Emily with me. I could really use my head of research right about now.
Marshall? Marshall! You're alive! Wait! It's Jesse! The director!
I don't think she's actually alive.
Whoa. This place is huge.
Marshall? Can you hear me?
She was on the hotline, so that person couldn't have been Marshall, right? One problem at a time. Let's see what's going on with that pillar first.
Oh, that's something on the Foundation pillar. Pillar found at the crossroads is best described as an onyx spike that protrudes from the cave floor like an imposing stalagmite. Despite an aggressive silhouette, the structure has an undeniable allure. Freud would certainly have something to say about the pillar overly erect nature, but I'm more drawn to Whittemore's essay of dynamic layers. Seed from which the oldest house sprouted. Trotter wrote that great architecture isn't built, it grows, but then why does the pillar look so different from the rest of this place's concrete walls? Let's check in the building. Found an upgrade. And another audio
It's
log.
been 5 days since we first entered the building. Traversing the interior is dangerous due to the shifting, but we did manage to find a lower cavern that seems structurally predictable, which is a scientific way of saying its walls won't crush us in our sleep. Northmore even made a discovery. A pistol placed on a stone pedestal in front of that strange ebony pillar. Seems like something out of a storybook, except the heroes usually find swords, not handguns. But it is the perfect lure for someone like him. Hours after finding this weapon, Northmore cornered me to spout some nonsense about how the board had made him the director. He ran it about the title being meaningless before now, calling Father and all other previous directors shams, frauds, and worse. I think this place is worse for Northmore than it is for me. Strangest thing? There was no pedestal in front of that pillar a day ago. This building has swallowed a dozen of my men, and now it's handing out presents? Is it playing some sort of game? If it is, we're most certainly losing. Hell, we don't even know the rules.
So this place drove Northmore a little crazy. Or at least seems to be responsible for it. Left south or right south? Only one is permittable?
So I can only choose one. I thought I was done with these tests.
Oh, I get it. One will let me break the stone. The other will let me use the stone. I'm gonna go with use the stone. I'm trying to be a benevolent director. Whoops. Interesting. The board says I'm the first director to gain this ability. Interesting. Maybe I'm supposed to go over here. No. It says that some crystals can be shaped while levitating. Ah. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, let's review.
This broken pillar is called the Nail. It was broken by something, and now the astral plane is bleeding into the foundation, which will destroy the oldest house, the Bureau, and everyone inside. I need to find 4 locks, or keys, or whatever, to stop that from happening. But I'm the director. I've handled worse. This should be simple-ish. You with me?
I hear the hotline. Or I thought I did. Reach the base camp. How? Hang on. Online. Come on. So where is this warehouse path that it's talking about? Maybe up here. I can't go that high. Oh. Oh, I get it. If I had picked the Shatter ability, I would be doing that one first, but since I picked the Grow, I get to go this way first. Okay.
Power core must open the door. How do I reach it?
Like that. The ritual in the warehouse. Okay. Ugh, these bright lights are bugging my eyes. I hope you're doing okay. Ooh, history of the oldest house. Now I'm curious. Hang on. Many questions remain. Interesting. So this research guy is trying to figure out the significance of the trees that are etched everywhere.
Is this a Bureau ID badge? Looks so old. Hope will definitely want to see this. Weird place to leave an ID card, but okay.
Days now spent inside what we're calling the oldest house. Northmore insists on the name. I'm too tired to ask why. I'm not sleeping well. Per orders, me and my research team have established a permanent examination lab in the Foundation. I basically live down here now, like the obedient head of research Father raised me to be. I spend my days investigating that odd pillar where Northmore found the handgun. The work was half-hearted at first, I admit. Space, ley lines, dragon roads, Hyligalinian color. But this pillar is the crossroads. I started building something. Equal parts talisman and technology. An array that can impose order on the ley junctions. That's the idea, at least. We'll see when I'm done. I prefer
Power core storage. Power cores. I've been curious where they get these things from. Hang on. Oh, interesting. So they used the ley line power. Which is why it wasn't working, because that one is dead. That one isn't. I'll bet you I'll need this later. Oh, tunnel access. Oh, I think I'm going the wrong way.
Entry day plus 51. Northmore has ordered an all-hands search for objects similar to the service weapon. He claims there are more in the house. I don't see how he's so certain. He's been strange lately, talking about joining greater causes, and frequently mentioning a pyramid. After pressing him, he finally described this pyramid to me. Inverted, black, mathematically perfect. Oddly enough, Adam and the other id have shown me numerous inverted triangles painted on the cave walls. Surely there's a connection. I don't see it yet. As far as occult symbols go, triangles are by no means rare. Flood, Levi, Kroll, they used that shape like it was going out of fashion. Standing on their base, triangles signify stability and strength. Inverted on their points, they represent conflict and stagnation. Of course, the orientation is just a matter of perspective. Looking at the pyramid from below gives you one, from above another. Northmore says he looks up at the inverted pyramid. I have to wonder, is anyone standing over it, looking down?
That's concerning. I do think I'm going the wrong way, but I am very darn curious as to what is over here. Dodge a forklift, really?
That damn gun. Faith? Not sure she's ready.
I'm here, aren't I? I saved the Bureau once, and I'll do it again.
It's hard looking at it from the side. I'm gonna play for another half hour and then I'm gonna put it down for a few minutes. The bright light is kind of messing with my eyes and it's making them sting a little bit. I feel like I've already been here before. Great if you can convert those guys. We have been here, I think. Maybe? No, it's just a similar layout. There's gonna be something in here. Ha! When in doubt, use a rocket. Upper warehouse. Okay, I guess I am going the right way. House.
Another etching, like the one I used to get in here.
Oh god. I hate these things. destroy that thing because it's healing them. Oh, it's the former.
Is this the lock/key the board told me about?
So, bit of backstory. In the Panopticon, which is where they keep the really dangerous shit, we end up finding some artifacts that are starting to act abnormally, and we find out that this thing, the former, is behind it. And the former is some part of the board, but it's like a member that was fired. So, we don't really know anything about it, except for we had to kill it 2 different times. So, it appears to be back. Which is not good.
Just doing my job.
First one down. Director Faden's got this covered.
It's very interesting to me that the former is involved. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. Gain some new abilities. Go ahead and fast travel back to the crossroads. Please don't be a bad guy.
We've got your back, Director.
Okay.
We've got this area covered, Director.
Curious what's over here. Oh, that would suck to get hit by. Okay, so there isn't really anything I can do there. still... Base camp. Oh, wait a minute. Open that one. Whoa. Interesting. The astral constructs are fighting the hiss. That's not something I expected. Shit. Well, crap. I'm dead. Base camp. Jerks, I'm on your side. Okay, so getting in close to that guy was not smart. I don't know if we'll have to fight the former or not. We had to fight him before. We had to fight him 2 times. And he was not a fun battle, because he destroys the environment around you. Aw, really? Oh, Pope's down here. Hang on, I want to talk to her.
Jesse, hey!
Emily, what are you doing down here, Emily?
What do you mean? You called me down, remember?
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
No, that's right. You didn't. But then, I remember you needing me to come here. I mean, you even told me how to get in. Let's just chalk it up to synchronicity so we can get to work.
She takes everything in stride.
The board called me down here to deal with the situation. The astral plane is...
Colliding with our world, I know. Isn't it fascinating? I never even considered that the astral plane could be a physical volume expanding beyond its dimensional container. The bleed is localized to this area, but its growth rate seems steady. Given time, it will consume the entire Bureau, and possibly beyond.
That's what I'm here to stop. The board told me to fix the nail over there by dismantling 4 locks in the astral plane. Funny, I think it's put itself back together a bit.
So that could be due to the law of inverse exchange. For every associated component you remove, this nail reconstructs. Or possibly some variation of anti-sympathy. Don't worry, I'll look into it. Did you notice all the Bureau infrastructure? It looks like there was a research team stationed down here at some point. Do you think Darling knew about this?
I put money on it. That reminds me, have you seen Marshall? She contacted me over the hotline, but then I saw her walking around.
I haven't seen her. The hotline only connects to extraplanar entities. Or dead people. But Marshall's proved time and time again that she's a survivor.
That's exactly what I thought.
Anyway, I've been looking into the minerals growing down here. Have you noticed how they insist on maintaining a certain form? Maybe some sort of a state memory, or they consciously prefer a certain shape?
I think we're on a clock here, Emily. I need to stop the astral bleeding before it brings the oldest house down. See what you can find out from the nail in the meantime. And send out some rangers to look for Marshall. She may be in trouble.
Will do, Jesse. If you see anything interesting, remember to take detailed notes.
Yeah, right. To answer your question that I just saw,
All
no.
the tests I run on the nail keep coming back as nonsense. And a couple of my instruments have already broken.
Maybe we should take that as a sign to pack it in?
I didn't take you for a quitter, Dr. Saba. There's a reason I packed a black rock-plated microscope.
But to answer your question, no. We don't know any of the names of the beings on the board. We know the former used to be a board member, and for some reason it got thrown out. And we know now that Director Northmore, the director before Trench, knew about the board, but it sounds like the directors before him didn't. So, it's interesting. And we do know that the board has some control over the powers that we get, because in the vanilla game they were able to augment our powers and make them even stronger at one point. But beyond that, we don't really know that much about the board. Actually here, there's a hotline for it, I think. Collectibles, hotline, control points, hotline. Objects of power, rituals, becoming director. Oh, I thought there was one on the board. Oh, but there is one on rituals. Hang on. Locks, keys, keep socket, us here. Oh, that was very helpful. Okay, well, for now... For now, I will go ahead and end the stream. I might play a little bit on my own, but I won't play too much. Actually, hang on. It says to talk to Pope, and I want to talk to Pope anyways, so...
Jesse, you're back. So did you find anything noteworthy? The original Bureau expedition down here left so much interesting stuff behind.
Like their ID cards. I picked up a weird one. It's pretty old.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, I found a few ID cards myself. Or, more accurately, the Rangers found them for me.
Are you starting a collection?
I'm going for the whole set. I kid, of course. But I suppose they are sort of like baseball cards, except for Bureau stuff from the 60s. Hey, the one you found is different than mine. It looks like it's a higher clearance level.
A rare one, then. Want to keep it, Emily?
Yeah, I absolutely do. But I think you should hang on to it for now. High clearance access might come in handy.
Sounds like you have something in mind.
Guilty. See, I've been going through Dr. Ash's notes, or the ones I can find, anyway. Like Darling, he seemed to enjoy hiding his most relevant research. From what I gather, there is another floor beneath the warehouse with a special lab that requires 5 high-level staff members just to access. Here, take this. It's an old skeleton key. Something else the Rangers found. I give them $5 for every useful trinket they bring me.
I'm gonna assume this key is my ticket to that lower floor. And that super secret lab you mentioned.
Bingo bango, as Dr. Darling used to say. Well, keep your eyes peeled for more ID cards around the warehouse. If Ash's notes are reliable, and I'm sure they are, then 5 is the magic number.
Okay.
Fascinating place, isn't it?
Can we talk to her again?
The Rangers have tapped into an old radio network they found around the Foundation. So if you need backup, just call them at one of the stations.
So, cool, we can talk to her. I want to talk
So
about
you've never heard of the Foundation, huh?
I've never even seen the name referenced. Clearly it's highly classified, but for what reason? The problem with these kinds of closed-off hidden areas is that they were likely sealed for good reason. But now no one is left to tell us what that reason was.
Any guesses why the Bureau would hide something like this?
I only know what I've observed. This place is spatially rigid, which means it doesn't shift like the rest of the oldest house. And before you ask why that is, I have to admit that I'm clueless. There's some signal interfering with my equipment, making it hard to get a clear reading. It's being emitted from the floor. Maybe I should have brought a jackhammer.
The astral plane is already taking chunks out of this place, Emily. Let's not add to it.
What about
How
the
did the Hiss
Foundation
get into
itself?
the Foundation?
Same way we did, I imagine. But you need to remember that the Hiss are the embodiment of persistence. Their nature seems to be one of force, to find every possible vulnerability and exploit it. Their only goal is consumption.
I'm sure there's plenty of goodies for them down here. The nail, for instance.
If the Hiss could corrupt the nail, I'm sure they would have by now. It must not interest them in its broken state. They could be distracted by the numerous unknown paranatural materials I'm sure are lying around. These are the roots of the oldest house. The Hiss will find plenty of ways to make trouble.
They're pretty good at that.
And lastly, the Hist presence.
So let me get this straight. The astral plane is bleeding into the Foundation.
Correct.
And that's happening because the nail is damaged.
I'd say it's a bit more than damaged, but yes, that is my understanding.
So what's the connection between the nail and the astral plane?
It's a good question. See, I always pictured objects of power as strings between our plane and the astral. If the nail has a similar relationship, then maybe it's more accurate to think of it like plumbing. Now that the nail is busted, sewage is gushing everywhere.
Not the prettiest metaphor. I should get back out there.
Agreed. The astral bleed won't stop itself.
Well, if you take her earlier metaphor of the objects of power being strings, I wonder if this nail is like a nail on a wall, and it keeps it from moving from one thing to another. Just a thought. Meh. Anyways, I will go ahead and end it here. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm totally like, what's over here? What's over there? Yep, since I didn't get the break ability, I can't break my way through there. Oh, we've got petroglyphs. Yep. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, so I will be around to chat, and maybe we can stream a little bit more tomorrow, who knows.